Good morning and welcome to the June garden update. So for the end of June 2022, here we go. Okay, so just getting back from backpacking for a couple weeks and got a little bit of cleanup to do in the garden, and you can see by some of the cracks in the ground that we need a good soaking probably of water. We've got a nice overcast day today to be working in the garden. Got a few weeds there that will work our way out, but we just got a number of things to do, including harvesting garlic, obviously, and tending to the tomatoes. There's the tomato plants, carrots, do a little bit of cleanup in this bed, that kind of thing. So, but everything, it doesn't look like anything really died. It just looks like we got a little bit of work to do, and we certainly have, you know, some tomatoes, lots of tomatoes. You probably can't even see all those back in there. And I'm still really liking these carbon tomatoes. The Prudence Pride is growing a lot of vines and stuff, and it puts on lots of blossoms, but tomato-wise, I think this is the biggest we've got so far, and maybe they just haven't gotten enough water here with the 100-degree heat, but we've got a lot of pruning and cleanup to do on those. The squash, so I came out and watered it this morning, and you can see it's a little yellow, and we're growing this in a pot this year, and that probably is telling me we need some fertilizer, so we'll come by with a liquid soluble fertilizer today and get that cleaned up. And then when I was watering this earlier, I don't know if you can tell, squash bug eggs right there, and there is a squash bug right there going up so we're going to grab him and squish him. And so if you water these in real well, whether they're in the ground or in a pot, and then wait a few minutes, the squash bugs will climb up to the outer leaves, and then you can pick them off. And then you just have to go around and get the eggs, because I saw 3 or 4, there's some stems with eggs on them as well. So I don't know if you see those. There's a couple of stems there that have some eggs on them. So we're going to get all those eggs off. We're going to squish the squash bug, and then we're going to get on with the tour. And we're actually just going to put him in the dunks bucket with the mosquito dunks. If you haven't used mosquito dunks, you can set up these mosquito traps in 5-gallon buckets, add the mosquito dunk, and it has a pretty benign chemical, but what it does is it kills the mosquito larvae, so they can lay their eggs in the water, and then the larvae hatch, and then they die. So they never become mosquitoes, and kind of breaks that life cycle. Again, we got a lot of cleaning up here to do. Look at all the cherry tomatoes. And the carbons, like I said, they're great slicers over there. But anyway, we got lots of pears coming on. The cucumbers need some tending to, but we are already starting to harvest cucumbers. We got to get all this coriander taken care of. So see, there's the coriander seeds. And so we're going to be harvesting all that, cleaning up some of this other cucumbers. See, there's a few cukes that are coming on. So that's good. We got some cleanup to do over here. Keep these out of the yard, try and re-trellis them. These are the butternuts. And that is the North Georgia Candy Roaster, and we're already trying to train it to go different directions. But they're all looking great. Can't complain at all about those. Need to give these peppers a good soaking. And I don't know that we have any peppers on there yet, actually. I got to get some weeds cleaned up. The sweet potatoes are starting to fill in, and they're doing good. Again, you can see how the walkway is kind of encroached by this coriander and cucumbers. So we're gonna get that stuff harvested over the next day or two, and go from there. So let's keep coming. So the potatoes, looks like the potatoes are ready to come out. And I'm really surprised that we don't have any bean pods yet on the beans. And that could be because maybe we've been getting some damage, some kind of insect damage. All these had flowers on them when we left, but we don't have any beans at all. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Anyway, otherwise they're doing good. And then the potatoes, like I said, we need to harvest some potatoes. This is the rainforest peppers. And you can see they're really starting to thrive. There are a number of peppers that are on here. Yeah, let's see. There's one. There's another one. There's a bunch, actually. So they're starting to put on some nice peppers. Got to do some cleanup over here too. So this is our corn and amaranth, which is the red Hopi amaranth. That's all starting to do really well. We'll check the zucchini for squash bugs here in a little bit too. It's getting a little bit yellow, so we'll probably add some liquid soluble fertilizer to it as well. Let's see, this pepper is doing okay. Broad beans, we just need to get those out of there probably, and work to trellis and train and clean up some of these cucumbers. Got to deal with all these tomatoes. Look at those laid over. So we got to get all that cleaned up. Already started harvesting cabbage. So I think we got a large cabbage from there. There's another one, Savoy cabbage. Got a bunch of kale we need to deal with. Need to clean out all this spinach. Looks like we had a little bit of bindweed there too. We'll pull that. And then we're just starting to get Brussels sprouts. So that's good. But yeah, the tomatoes are going to take a lot of work. And look at these carbons. Again, this variety is called carbon. And it's just loaded, you know, on both sides. And this little plant is loaded too, and it needs a lot of support. It's got a lot of tomatoes on it. So, got to deal with that. The calendule's looking good. Just a lot of cleanup. We need to harvest a lot of dill. Got to get the yard mowed. Over here we've got fenugreek that is about done. So the leaves are starting to die back, and these are about ready to harvest. That's where you get the fenugreek seed from. We're getting some Tabascos on the Tabasco pepper. So that's good. That should grow a lot larger. Okra's doing good, except we need to weed. But that's just round to it. Sprinkled a few of a different variety of amaranth over here. So not the red Hopi, but a white variety. Got a volunteer sunflower, I think, there. Little red amaranth there. And then these blueberry bushes that I planted a few weeks ago before the trip, and they're getting a lot of stress. And I'm not sure if it's the high temps or what it is, or just not enough water, but we're going to give those a good soaking. We still need to come back and mulch and finish the cardboard / paper sack barrier on that. Here we've got two peanut plants that have germinated, and they're going. The ginger is there. I don't know if it's making rhizomes or not. We won't find out till the fall. But I haven't had a huge success with ginger, so we'll see. Hopefully we can at least get enough peanut seeds to get some good seeds, because the ones I ordered, I mean, they had pitiful germination rate. And then just a ton. You can see the crabgrass is kind of taken over. We need to get in there and really weed, because that kind of got out of control. Clean up some of this. Let's see. Fig tree's doing good. This is the Chicago fig, and it seems to be doing good. So, and then we've got all this coriander to get, and there's just a ton of coriander. So we're going to have our fill of coriander for a while. This will get us set up there. Got some jalapenos in the back, and we need to clear out this coriander anyway, the cilantro, just to add some extra light to those peppers that are in here. Looks like cantaloupe. We got some volunteer cantaloupe. Need to get some water on that and then just keep trellising it. So lots and lots of work to do. And then of course this grass. The zinnias have started to come in, and so have the sunflowers, are just starting. So there's a little sunflower, and there's some other ones. But the zinnias, I love the zinnias, primarily because they're so easy to grow. And they're beautiful, and they bloom all summer. So we're going to continue to work on expanding this bed and keeping it weeded so the weed load stays low. We got 3 different varieties of zinnias in here at the moment. We got, should be a shorter variety in the front. I don't remember what these are, but you can tell that they're kind of multicolored. There's some different ones in there. And then we've got kind of this fuchsia section. These should be medium height zinnias. And then this is the, I think dahlia is what these were called, these multicolored ones. So we'll see how they do, but they're looking good so far. Tons of weeding needs to be done over here to clean out some of that bachelor button. It's dried up. The herbs are doing okay. Really got to get in here and get some weeds out. The poppies are doing all right. We'll weed first before we mess with the poppy heads. We're leaving this maple for now. And then the lemon balm and bergamots are starting to flower. We got to do some more with the grape. And we got coneflower coming in back there. So it's just really pretty stuff. I mean, I love this part of the garden. I'm really surprised there aren't more pollinators out right at the moment even. And I need to probably move that salvia because it's just not as tall as I was expecting it to be. And maybe we'll put rhubarb back there or something. I don't know. We've got a second Reliance grape that is just kind of going wild back through here that I need to deal with and trellis that up. The valerian, and we cut the flowers off that earlier just to prevent millions of seeds from going around. And again, there's more of the balm, bee balm type stuff. So anyway, just lots of weeding and work projects to do. So that's what we're walking into in July, is just kind of cleaning this up, getting it back under control, and harvesting and processing the stuff that we planted. All right, well, that's the general garden update tour for June. And if you liked it and you thought that was helpful, then please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and click the bell so you get notifications every time we update new content here on the channel. If you are looking for a little extra content, then you might check us out at Frosty Sith on Instagram, and we do publish a little extra content there. And that's it. So remember, whenever you can, get up, get out, live a little. See ya. All right, so that's from getting all the eggs that I could find off. And if you look there, there's a little squished nymph. And I did notice a few more nymphs stage in there. So we'll come back with some soapy water, very little soap in some water, and spray